at the weekend. Everybody's going to have a great time. I know I've got a lot of Call of Duty to play, a lot of just fun times, a lot of sleeping in because finally me and Bandi can finally just relax, okay? Jeez, it's been a busy week for us. And then later on today, we actually get to do Buckhorn, so it'll be really fun. But I'll tell you guys all about the lineup that will be on our sister station, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. But let's get into the main stories. Derrick Henry showed why he is one of the most elite running backs in the league last night in the Titans win over the Packers that nobody but me, I guess. Literally, I feel like I was the only one that guessed correctly. Not like on the score exactly, but I feel like the Packers, coming off of that Cowboys win, it seemed like they would have a lot of momentum to get them that dub against the Titans. I mean, the Titans look shaky at times. They're one of the better teams in the league, but now they're sitting at 7-3. I mean, the same spot they pretty much were last season, so it's like maybe this team is more consistent than we thought, but we're going to talk a little bit more on Henry's performance later in the show. But the Titans managed to hold the Packers to a handful of points scattered throughout the game, whereas the Titans were just on a roll all night long, literally scoring every single quarter. Austin Hooper had himself a pair of touchdowns, showing his reliability as the Titans' top tight end, and Ryan Tannehill looked elite in the air with 333 yards passing, completing 22 of 27 passes with 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, okay? Titans went over the Packers 27-17 and moved to a nice-looking 7-3, where I predicted the Titans would win 24-21. For Bandi, did you remember what you predicted on that one?
I'm trying to remember exactly. I mean, because it had a lot to do with the spread, and I think the spread was like, what, -3 in the Packers' favor?
Yeah, it was.
So I think I said that
I think somebody got 17. I think you said somebody would get 17, but I don't remember.
I was like it might have been like 17-21, I think.
Yeah, I think you had.
But I think I had it for the Packers to win.
The Packers to win. But hey, you got 17 correct. That's one thing. So Bandi, good on you. Give him a little clap on the side. Yep, there you go. That's all you get because you were wrong, but you were correct in a way. But
that's right.
It's whatever. But not everything went in the Titans' favor last night because after the victory, one offensive coordinator, Todd Downing, went a little too hard on the celebration last night, getting arrested on a DUI charge, and that was actually this morning. It was so early in the morning that it still seems like it was last night because it was nighttime still, but it was honestly this morning because it happened at like 4 something because the Titans squad got in around like 3, and then it all went down around 4 after he got just extremely hammered. We don't know how hammered he got, but we'll talk with Joe Hunk a little bit more about that a little later. But I mean, look, okay, we get hype about some good victories, all right, and coaches like to have their fun as well. But in a city like Nashville, okay, just call an Uber or something, okay?
Yeah.
Get your car later. You know, if you leave it at the stadium, get your car later. You know you can. You know you have the money for an Uber, and I think they have a deal with like Lyft or something. So maybe not even Uber, which Lyft could be even better. But I think the Titans might have a deal with Lyft to where they might be able to get like free rides. So a lot of things where it's like, like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Downing? But he had an amazing performance leading the offense of the Titans to that win last night. So, I mean, there's some goods, but there's big bads because it's like he's just showing himself. He showed how he can actually, lead this team to a dub against a fairly good team. I mean, it's the Packers, so it's like this season you don't know what they're going to do. They're either going to lose games to teams that don't do anything or beat the Cowboys, and that was a pretty exciting win. And, I mean, we thought that the Cowboys or the Packers could maybe get on the roll, throughout the rest of the season. But I mean, it still looks like they are. Still looks like they're the Packers from 2022. So that's just how it's going from that. Definitely not the thing though that the Titans wanted because getting distracted like this halfway through the season, we don't know what's going to happen moving forward. Yeah. But we'll figure it out. We'll get all the news on that, and we'll keep you guys in touch with that throughout today's show, and maybe. Might be on the Twitter sphere at the Blitz_sports. Moving on, the snowy matchup that we so looked forward to has been moved to Detroit, instantly killing any interest in the Bills-Browns game. This makes the game a little bit more comfortable for the players, and it helps the Browns in a way because that Buffalo home field advantage is pretty scary. But at the same time, I wanted to see some snow coming down on the field.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome. Nick Chubb running through 6 feet of snow. That would have just been sick, even though it probably been pushed to the thing. But another good thing for this is, it's going to be really just neutral field for both teams because Detroit, it's very close to both, Cleveland and Buffalo in a way. And so, it really helps out with the Browns in that favor. But, it'll be interesting to see what all goes down on 1 p.m. on Sunday. Sorry, I was thinking of college football. Also, I believe this is like only the 5th time a game has been moved from location to location due to weather concerns. So it's kind of cool that we'll all be witnessing history on that one game. So give it a little watch just for a little bit. If you're not interested, if the Bills are blowing out the Browns, there's no reason to watch it. But you know what? You can get a little bit of history in there. So give it a good old watch. And then moving on to tonight's smorgasbord of sports content from high school basketball with Buckhorn going up against Grissom on Zone 3. Make sure you guys got the ESPN or the 97.7 ESPN, the Zone app, so you guys get all this fun stuff. And me and Bandi Man will be on air doing that. College Hoops is going to be on Zone 2 with Alabama going against the Gamecocks from Jacksonville State. And yeah,
not South Carolina.
Not those guys.
Not yet.
And then on the main feed, catch high school playoff football with Randolph going against Cherokee County in round 3 of the playoffs. This should be a good one, Bandi. I know you're proud of your former team, your former alma mater, I guess you could say. They're going to be going on in round 3, and this is the first time they've ever reached this level of the playoffs. So it's huge for them, and you know what? They actually have a chance of beating this team.
They do.
So I'm super excited.
Yeah, Coach Lloyd over there has really just put together an incredible squad for the Randolph Raiders. Obviously, I'm hoping they move forward.
Oh yeah, and then last season for the Randolph Raiders, they made it round 2, and then they were out, and that was history for them because they never made it to round 2. And now this season they're going to round 3. They're making history just left and right, just constantly. So good on the Randolph Raiders, and we'll be definitely keeping our eyes on that, and we'll be cheering for them as they can hopefully get a win tonight. And then later on in the show, the Bandi Man will have all the info on Apex Tournament Series. That's not really a valid tournament, but whatever. Capcom thinks Ken's life has been too good, so they framed him as a terrorist. That's a story.
They're like, hey, we're going to give a little bit of teaser for the arcade mode. Ken's a terrorist.
Okay.
Or he's been accused of being one.
Yeah, it's better to be accused of being a terrorist than to actually be a terrorist because, one, you're actually a terrorist. The other one, you're being accused of being a terrorist.
It is kind of weird. It was like, hey, he was just kind of like that happy-go-lucky kind of character, like family man kind of character, buddy rival to Ryu.
Exactly.
And then, yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, he's a terrorist. Accused terrorist. But
we don't know yet.
We're gonna hop into a break because I know we're gonna be talking a long time with one Mr. Joe Hunk from 104.5 The Zone. Stick with us because we'll be talking Tennessee football, Tennessee Vols football, and all that whatnot. Maybe we can squeeze in some Marvel talk. We'll see about that. But you guys don't go anywhere because you're listening to a Fun Friday on the Afternoon Blitz.
I'm a firefighter.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer.
I'm a barber.
A waitress.
A mom.
We're all part of your community. Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good.
Others not so much.
But that's life. It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty. Something or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not.
It's not about paranoia
Or being afraid.
It's about standing up and protecting our communities.
One detail at a time.
because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. Stop into the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Go Mustangs!
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com. and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, our always reliable Friday guest. He does a great job matching the energy here in No Man's Land. And we just want to remind you before we get into that this hour is brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you have any roofing problems, go fill out a free quote today. Remember, Fleming always shows up. Now, let's get into this. Okay, we all know who the guest is. It's one Mr. Joe Hunk from 104.5 The Zone in Nashville. Joe, how are you doing today?
Yeah, it's about to be a long day, fellas.
All right, yeah, we know how it is. Every single day's long. Me and Bandi actually have a very long day as well because we're gonna have to do the show, and then we gotta go down to Buckhorn today to do a little basketball game, which is gonna be super exciting. But going over to that Tennessee win last night, everybody was, most people were kind of shocked about. I wasn't. I knew that Tennessee was winning. I already told you guys yesterday on the show, if you thought I was just kidding around, you know what? Maybe I can make a few guesses, but tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll get into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty that went on afterwards.
Afterwards, maybe become a bigger gritty. So the game itself, like, this was a game that we expected Tennessee to play well as far as do what Tennessee does, because had Tannehill back, this is his second game fully back, knew that the ankle was getting better, also knew that that you had the king, you had Traylon, your offense was pretty much set. The Ben Jones part of this is what became kind of nerve-wracking because you found out late in the week that Ben Jones was not going to play. Guys, look, it doesn't matter what sport you're talking about, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, no, it doesn't matter. Your center is your most important player because he's the one that controls traffic, right? Just like in baseball, your catcher does, just like in basketball, your point guard does. Like, outside of your quarterback in football, your center is your most important player on the offense. To not have him in a hostile environment, let's be honest, it's Lambeau, to go in with not just Aaron Brewer playing center, but also Corey Levin, and for them to not get and give up as much pressure as they possibly could have, this was an amazing performance by the offense. The other part about this is the fact that Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. You fully expect that at some point in time he is going to figure it out with this offense. You keep waiting for that offense to do what you think it could do.
Exactly.
This is a shock what the Packers are going through this year. Like, yes, they've had injuries. Lazard has been injured. Had Randall Cobb came back last night after being on IR. Basically hasn't even practiced over a month because these two teams did walkthroughs this entire week. There was no actual practice. Okay? He wasn't even – look, here's the thing about the NFL, which is totally different from college football. If Bryce Young gets injured, okay, for Bryce Young to even step on the football field, if this was the NFL, the Titans or Alabama in this case would have to let the NCAA know, and there would have to be a press release because then he would be taking off of IR. Okay, like he would be whatever. It's not taken off of IR. It said that he is eligible to return to practice. Okay, because until that moment, they can't even step on the football field. Like Traylon Burks, we were told, hey, this guy has now been activated. He has a 21-day window to be activated back to the active roster, or he's put back on the IR for good. If he is allowed to come back to practice, he is allowed to practice in some capacity. The Titans will make a decision when they're going to activate it. The Titans did that right before the Broncos game, but he practiced. Randall Cobb didn't even practice. Like, there was no announcement. It was notified that he's coming off of IR yesterday morning. Okay, so he hasn't even practiced. And he comes out and he plays in it, which again, Aaron Rodgers, that's his boy. That's his guy. So between him as well as Aaron Jones has been playing, you would think, all right, there's this offense. And then for some reason, Christian Watson decided he wanted to don't know why. By the way, you might want to pick him up on your fantasy team because apparently he's here to do something. But the fact that the Titans to Green Bay against one of the top passing defenses in the NFL, and Ryan Tannehill was able to do things that he did was outlandish. Nobody expected that to happen. Nobody did. So the fact that they won, not surprising. The fact that we weren't having to ever actually worry about them losing the lead is where the surprising part.
And it's very nice to see the Titans get that dub. And kind of speak on Ryan Tannehill. After coming back from his injuries, he's kind of been on a roll. He's been throwing the ball a lot more. He's been getting a lot more yardage and stuff instead of the game kind of going fully and on Henry's shoulders. But Ryan Tannehill has been doing really well in these last few games. I mean, in this game alone, he had 333 yards passing. He did have that one interception, but he did make up for it with the 2 touchdowns. And then, I mean, we even got to see Derrick Henry pass a touchdown. And I was just like, okay, now it's just ridiculous. But tell us a little bit about how you feel about Ryan Tannehill. And do you think he's on a different level at this point in the season?
No, I think that people now in Tennessee have more of an appreciation for Ryan Tannehill because of what Malik did over the 2 weeks. Now, look, let's not get this straight. Malik was still 1-1. Let's not forget, he was 1-1, and quite frankly, should have been 2-0. Like, in all reality, the Titans should have beat. So the fact that Tannehill came back to it, that was able to live on this life raft period of time without him, this shows you what type of team the Titans have. The fact that when Tannehill came back, you started to see the progression in the pass game, which was not there all. Has not is not here. That Julio Jones is not here anymore. You got rid of those guys, so you don't have Chester Rogers and all these other players from last season. But the fact that Tannehill now has the fact that you are starting to see him and Treylon Burks have great chemistry on the field, that in itself could potentially open up a massive advantage for the Titans, because if Tannehill now becomes a weapon for them and Treylon Burks and NWI become a weapon and Austin Hooper can catch passes, remember, Gamer Zone, still kind of bitter.
Saw that.
This all opens everything up for the King to start blowing people up with 150, 200-yard rushing.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, kind of speak on. Turn me down a little bit, Captain.
Gotcha.
Thank you. But speaking of Ryan Tannehill a little bit, kind of speak on his performance. I mean, because he played incredibly well against Green Bay. I mean, 22 for 27, throwing for over 300 yards. That one interception's that little blemish, but overall, I mean, he had a very good performance against the Packers.
It was close to what I asked him, actually. Very close to what I asked him.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
There's another person who threw passes this game.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry.
Oh yeah. Okay, continue on Derrick Henry.
How about Derrick Henry getting a shot at using his cannon instead of for a stiff arm before throwing it downfield?
Well, okay. So first off, I'm going through a dead spot. You guys able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you right now.
Okay, making sure. Okay, so let me answer the first. If I would have told you 8 to 10 weeks ago that Ryan Tannehill was going to go into Green Bay on Thursday Night Football and outperform Aaron Rodgers, how crazy would that have sounded? Hit your timer, your alarm. So the whole idea that Ryan Tannehill went into not just Lambeau Field, but a Lambeau Field that had snow in the beginning of snow leading up to this game. Because there are videos that I've been sent from our Titans radio people that were in the stadium. Getting to the stadium was like a blizzard getting into Lambeau. Okay? The amount of snow that was falling on their way into the stadium last night, you didn't see the actual depth of how much snow was there on television for Thursday Night Football. So the fact that Ryan Tannehill went into this game and outperformed Aaron Rodgers is astounding. Okay, there was a point in time, because you mentioned his passing number. There was a point in time where Ryan Tannehill was like 14 of 15, and the only one that he missed through was a throwaway because nobody was open. Like, that's just how accurate and how focused Ryan Tannehill was.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't stressing. There really wasn't much pressure on him. There were a couple of times that he got popped, but nothing crazy.
Yeah.
And the fact that he performed this well on this stage in national television is so Tennessee Titans-like, because this is what happened. I don't know if you guys are watching this. You guys have your televisions on. Every single time anybody was previewing this game up yesterday, the conversation was the Packers. Can Aaron Rodgers and the Packers get back into the playoff game?
Mm-hmm.
Is Aaron Rodgers and the Packers done? Are the Packers going to be able to turn this around? There was never any talk about Ryan Tannehill, the Titans, what this team could potentially do on Thursday Night Football. All this team did was go up, not make mistakes outside of the – heck, their first sack didn't even happen on Aaron Rodgers until almost the very end of the game. Like, Big Jeff's sack at the very end of the game is the only thing that actually backed Aaron Rodgers up to get him in that 4th and long situation where he had to throw that deep ball to the left side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that this team played so smart, I know we're going to get into it, but the fact that Todd Downing called an amazing game getting into the Derrick Henry play. Look, Derrick Henry has run that play 2 other times previous season. Last year, it was against the year before that, during the COVID year, I want to say it was against the Colts, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But that play just shows you what type of defense the Packers are coming in with, because I told you guys at the beginning of this, the Green Bay Packers had one of the top-rated defensive secondaries in the NFL going into the game.
Mm.
But they focused so much on 22 that their defense was so focused on putting that 5 men on the front line and 7 and 8 box because Derrick Henry faces more 8-man plus boxes than anybody else in the NFL, that caused their secondary to have holes. Ryan Tannehill was in the pocket. He never forced any passes, and you saw these plays that Traylon Burks, W.I., even Austin Hooper made, and it was fantastic. It was an amazing performance on national television, and at some point in time, national television is going to have to understand that you can talk about the Packers all you want, you can talk about the Giants all you want, the Cowboys, whatever it is, but there is a large possibility that by the end of this weekend, the Titans are the number one team in the AFC through 10 weeks, through 11 weeks. And that is not by mistake, because they were right here last year as well.
Oh, for sure. Joe Hunk with us from 104.5 The Zone in Nashville. And, Joe, I feel like I was the only one that kind of predicted this right, at least in our studio. I mean, I saw on ESPN and all that stuff, they were predicting the Packers. And obviously the Packers were a 3-point favorite in this one. But I said that the Titans would win this one 24-21, okay? I was a little, hesitant on it. I was like, they're coming off that good win to the Cowboys. And you know what? I don't know. And then I was like, you know what? No, I think the Titans will have a more of an impact in this game, especially with Ryan Tannehill getting back on the team and just consistently just performing just above standard, at least in his opinion. But now, with something so good, it can't just go perfectly right. We did get the news this morning that Todd Downing was arrested for DUI charges. Tell us a little bit about that, because it's still very recent news. I mean, it only happened at 4 o'clock. So, tell us a little bit about that and what you think about it.
What an idiot. Okay?
There you go.
I mean, seriously. Okay? I'm just going to be honest. This was dumb. Okay? Now, we've been talking. The amount of alcohol that he blew has not been determined. We do not know what he blew in the breathalyzer. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We obviously understand that this happened very early in the morning because the Titans had just gotten back to St. Thomas Sports Park from Green Bay.
It was almost like a speed run.
Yeah, no, seriously, because that's what this was. They flew out Wednesday afternoon, okay, late Wednesday afternoon. 4 o'clock is when their flight went out. They go up to Green Bay, they play the game, then immediately afterwards, they went directly to the airport, okay? So that was the reason why you're looking at this and going, why is he out at 4 a.m.? Because he was coming home, because the flight didn't land until about 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the reason for the time frame, okay? The reason he is dumb, the Titans are given and have the access to lift at any point in time for free.
That's what I'm saying.
They have a contract that if for some reason Traylon Burks, let's use him, just a random player, I'm not implying anything.
Mm-hmm.
Traylon Burks just will not leave them Broadway girls alone. He's partying down on Broadway, and he's hanging out there, and he's like, you know what? I've drank a little bit too much. He just has to get on the Lyft app, and it's paid for. Even if he was driving all the way to Columbia and he's 45 miles away, it's handled.
Exactly.
Okay? It's handled. After what happened in the city a couple of seasons ago with Andy Reid's son, not a lot of people pay attention to this. It's city happens, when the Chiefs were doing so well and nobody was thinking about it. But when Andy Reid's son got into a car accident with a car on an on-ramp outside of the practice facility for the Chiefs, it was because he was leaving their Christmas. Okay? You never take these chances, okay?
No.
You never do anything dumb. Because in Todd Downing's situation, he was very lucky that nothing happened. Okay, very lucky that nobody was. Dude, I was out on the road at that point in time. In that.
Oh no! Can't have Joe being taken out.
I'm serious. I was there. It's and I'm literally up to inside of Williamson County on 65 right now, pulled over.
Okay.
So that is it was a dumb decision.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky that nothing happened. We don't know the breathalyzer, so we can't say he was in his words are like, this OC in Titans history. And we can't have no idea.
Good
but
stuff.
The fact that he did
Continue,
less
Joe.
than 10 hours, 12 hours after, the fact that he did this less than 6 hours after the best game that he called as offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans is tragic.
Mm-hmm.
Because today, this morning, last night, there were so many people, media members, that have been busting his chops for the longest time, talking about how bad he is as an offensive coordinator. For Mike Vrabel to dodge the questions that he had to dodge on Monday about Todd Downing and his play calling, for that to happen on Thursday Night Football, for everybody to start giving him props about, you know what? Last 2 games that he's had Tannehill, this hasn't been bad. Like, you're actually seeing some good play calling. You've seen timely play calling, seen plays that make sense in right situations, all of that. The flea flicker, the Derrick Henry play, even the offense at the very beginning of the Chiefs game on Sunday Night Football, when you saw Malik running the RPOs and the read options, like, all this made sense. Like, hey, bro, you're starting to get it, okay? Now you're in this situation, okay? Regardless of the DUI itself, the NFL is going to most likely suspend him for a game, if not multiple games, if not the rest of the season, okay? Now the problem lies for him is that the obvious replacement, obvious person that's going to be calling these plays is already in the building, and many believe that he's been the offensive coordinator in waiting anyway. That's Tim Kelly. Tim Kelly is the passing games coordinator. Tim Kelly was brought in from Houston. If you don't realize this or you don't know this, just look at how many former Tennessee Titans players and coaches have Houston connections. This isn't just the Houston Oilers franchise. This is also like next stop for every former Houston Texans player. I'm shocked we didn't get Deshaun Watson, okay? Like, seriously.
Yeah, well.
Okay? So I mean, it's like that. Every single player that comes to the Titans at some point in time has played for the Texans. So what? But Tim Kelly comes over, offensive coordinator, we believe, based on even how Vrabel answered these questions on Monday about if Todd Downing was the one calling all the plays, and Vrabel goes, well, Todd Downing's the one that relays the plays to the quarterback. Guys, if you're in Alabama, you've had to deal with this crap with Gus Malzahn. Well, Gus, how much is Rhett Lashley actually plays? How much is X, Y, and Z? Coach, you know, this was a 4th and 1 play. Why was your offensive coordinator against Clemson 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage, not able to relay the play to that? So is he calling the plays or are you? Like, we all remember all this stuff. So we've seen coaches dance around the conversation about offensive coordinators calling plays. Now, Todd Downing has screwed himself over, okay? Regardless, unless he does not get fined, unless he's on the field next Sunday afternoon, the Bengals calling plays, he has just put himself in that category where he could be Wally Pitt.
Yeah.
He could be Drew Brees. Every single possibility now that if Tim Kelly comes in, he's most likely going to be the one calling the plays, does as good of a job, if not better, than what Todd Downing is doing, Todd Downing could be out of a job. Okay, because Titans fans were ready to let him go. Guys, on the Gamer Zone, there were Titans fans wanting me to be the offense. It's based on my play. Okay? Like, come on.
Yeah.
like that's how annoyed Titans fans are with Todd Downing. And then when you start to have the past 2 or 3 weeks that he has had, and he starts to finally start to win over the fan base, and you start to make good play calls, through all of this BS, you're still 7-3. Now you did this last night. And again, he may not have been driving crazy. He may not have been swerving through 4 lanes. He may not have been doing any of that. We do not know yet. What we know is he did enough to be arrested for a DUI. What we know is that he was swerving enough for the police officer to be able to pull him over. And what we know now is that he is out on bond. that the NFL and the Titans are having to figure out a plan based on a possible suspension for him, what they're going to do moving forward. And so Vrabel wakes up today, and all the other Titans wake up today, not to, man, I cannot believe you guys just won in Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers. Now it's Downing was arrested. Like, you couldn't even enjoy the win.
Yeah, it was a little.
You can't even enjoy it now.
A little upsetting, honestly. It's like the worst thing that could, well, not the worst thing, but one of the worst things that could probably happen to you after, one of the, top and, highest moments of your life, probably. I mean, you're on cloud 9 after that victory. I mean, everybody's probably been watching you on prime time because that's just how it is. And you know what? It was an entertaining game all the way through, I will say that. But let's move on towards the Tennessee Vols because they'll be going against the South Carolina Gamecocks this weekend. And I see that the Tennessee Vols are going to be rocking a nice little orange helmet. And I mean, I've never seen Tennessee with an orange helmet, but I gotta say, it looks very, very good.
Well, look, for people that don't know, all right, first thing about this is their 4th different helmet that they're rocking.
Nice.
Okay. Again, this is not a jab at anybody that Alabama that loves the historical helmets for their teams.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama and Auburn. Like, this isn't a jab.
Mm-hmm.
But Tennessee has that traditional helmet that is gorgeous. Okay, it is stunning. But even they have went to the white helmet with the black outline T and the black face mask. That's one helmet. They went with the all-black helmet on Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're going to this orange one. And I know you said, look, I don't know that much about it. Here's what you need to know about it. Whenever you look back in history and you find what years Tennessee won the national championship,
mm-hmm.
they were rocking those helmets.
Oh, yeah.
They were winning national championships in the 50s. That's what you need to know, is this is another throwback. Like, there was a missed opportunity that I've always thought about, and it still irks me to this. It was September 11th, 2013.
Mm.
That was the day Alabama went into Texas A&M, played in Texas for the very first time, while Texas A&M was a member of the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
It was also the birthday of Bear Bryant, and you had an opportunity to connect the history of Alabama and the history of Texas A&M in one game if you would have just worn the white helmet. That's all you had to do.
It would have been cool, I will say.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have these white helmets that have a historical connection in Alabama's history. It's not just let's try something different.
Yeah.
Like, let's try to do this. No. There is a legitimate historical history there. And all you've got to do to go see this helmet is just go into the museum in Tuscaloosa, the Bear Bryant Museum in Tuscaloosa. You will see this helmet like it's nothing that's fake. And they have that connection to Bear Bryant, and it would have been stunning, beautiful, and special to be able to do something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
The fact that Tennessee is at least going back and modernizing some of their history with this helmet, that is what's cool, okay? You're not grasping for straws. The orange jersey for Auburn is not something stupid that some athletic directors want to come up with just because they want to try something different. No, there's a historical connection to these uniforms, okay? It's okay to try something new and different, but look at the fan base and how the fan base reacted. We saw a picture of this a couple of weeks ago that they were going to be rocking this. Like, we kind of got somebody sent us a picture like, hey, here are the 2 new helmets that we're about to debut. But
a little leak.
Anything. Huh?
A little leak.
Yeah, well, it was more of a text message. Hey, don't want you guys to say.
Yeah.
So we saw the helmet. We knew it was there, but we also knew it was a prototype. We didn't know if they were actually going to do it or not.
Yeah.
But they do this. Fan base is where it's at. The team is playing so well right now. All they have to do is win this weekend and next weekend, and they're most likely in the college football playoff.
For sure.
Hendon Hooker has a little bit more difficult road to make the Heisman, what he did before the Georgia game. But if he goes out and throws for 5 touchdowns against South Carolina, guess who's back in the conversation? Okay? Because right now, a quarterback from North Carolina has the best on Heisman. Okay? Like, it's not like that guy's playing anymore.
Yeah.
2 weeks. Okay? So this is going to be cool. It's going to be a special thing. I love the fact that they're doing it on the road. They're going to South Carolina, and they're rocking these. It's really cool for Tennessee.
And I couldn't agree with you more. I do think the look looks very nice, and it doesn't stray too far away from the normal uniform they go with. But Joe, that is all the time we have for this week. But we appreciate the time, and tell the people where they can find you, because I was watching some of that Titans Green Bay that you were playing, and I gotta say I was a little upset with the outcome. But you know what? It was all fine because the Titans in real life got the dub, and that made me happy.
Well, no, and that's the thing about the Gamer Zone. First off, that game pissed me off, okay? Like, I don't get angry about a lot when it comes to the Gamer Zone, but the fact that I played smart for 3.5 quarters and ended up losing that game the way that I did is infuriating.
Yeah.
The only positive of this is in my video game, the Packers won 27-14 because they wanted to be a bunch of thieves, kick a field goal at the very end of the game. They win 27-20 or to 14. You flip that last night. The Titans won 24-14. I'm currently 3-7 in the Gamer Zone. The real Titans are 7-3. I'll take the sacrifice. Okay.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Like, I'll take it. But what you were asking, go at Joe Hunk. You can watch me there. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all those at Joe Hunk.
Nice.
You can find me there, and you can hop in on it.
Nice. All right, Joe Hunk from 104.5 The Zone in Nashville. Thank you very much for hopping on with us. We cannot wait to talk with you next Funky Friday, and we will see you next time.
Absolutely, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, brother. You too. Thank you, Joe. All right, we're going to hit a break. When we come back, guys, we're going to preview the next hour. There's that noise again. You got to love it. Always forget to turn it down. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right, even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
In 1982, Bob Baumhauer introduced Alabama to the Buffalo Wild Wing, and quite frankly, we've never been the same. Back then, it was Wings and Things in Tuscaloosa, but now, 40 years later, after 4 name changes, Baumhauer's Victory Grill is the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. Bob's Alabama Hot Chicken is something that has to be tried to believe, plus the new Bam Bam Chicken and the Louisiana-style Go Fish, a whitefish over rice topped with shrimp etouffee. And Baumhauer's is fighting inflation with some new affordable favorites. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Parkway today.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So you don't have to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Believe in that you're in love with me. I got the voice. I can sing. Welcome, everybody, back to the afternoon Blitz here on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandi Man. We just got out of a pretty intense conversation about Tennessee sports, mostly Tennessee Titans football, going up against the Packers last night in a nice little win where Derrick Henry did some pretty historic things, but the rest of the team just played well. They just really did play well. But I wanted to, just as we are going into the second hour of the show after this segment, I wanted to throw a question at you, okay, Bandi?
All right.
Okay.
Hit me with it.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve.
Yeah, that's what we're getting into right now. Okay, a little bit of talking, a little bit of podcast talking questions.
My biggest pet peeve. If I had to bring it up, God, I actually got a good amount that just really get on my nerves.
What's the first that comes to mind? Because I know I have a few as well.
When people chew with their mouth open.
I feel like that's a lot of people's. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a common one, but I'm trying to eat my own food as well.
Yeah.
It's bad enough I got to try to hear someone eat theirs.
Yeah, I understand how that is. I hate whenever it's like a very silent area and there's just like that one or two people that are just eating the food, rustling around, and then they're, it gets on my nerves a little bit. I'd say my biggest pet peeve, and I know that I do this to you sometimes, so it's totally understandable. But whenever somebody constantly just talks over me, like I'm talking, I'm telling like a story.
I know, it's so annoying.
Yeah, exactly. See, like we've kind of gotten to the point where we know how to kind of flex, where it's like I can stop talking as soon as I know you're about to talk. So because we have that communication and me just being able to see you and when you're about to start going, But there are times when it's like, you interrupted me one time, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. Okay, it happens. You got something on your mind you want to say. You might forget about it.
Yeah.
But if there's just constant interruption going on, I'm just like, all right, I can't get a word through to you. Or I can't get a word through to this group because this other person wants to get in. I'm just like, what are you doing?
Okay, I've got a theory about that.
Okay.
Because that happens to me too.
Okay.
Mainly a lot with my family.
Okay.
And I like to think, because you also have the same problem,
Yeah.
it's because we're the youngest.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like that's part of it.
Yeah.
We're still the little brother of the family, like trying to get a word in, and all the older siblings are talking over us.
Yeah, that's just how it is. Thankfully, most of my siblings have left the coop, but a lot of the times you find the Tom, doing stuff that gets on my nerves. But I don't really get like too upset with it because he's the dad, so I gotta kind of let him do his own thing. But there's been times when